All right, so now that we've read the story, we are ready to answer a couple questions. And I'm going to show you, for example, in number 1, notice it says, what is the central message of the selection? So central message is another way of saying theme, or what is the lesson of the story. So those are some different terms you might see. What is the theme of the story? What lesson do the characters learn? Or what is the central message? All of those connect back to what is the author trying to teach us, or what is the author trying to teach the character? So we're going to do a couple of these together, and we're going to look for questions about theme, lessons, and central message, and then you'll have a chance to finish a couple of these on your own. So number 1, like I said, what is the central message of this selection? And remember, selection just means story or passage. What is the central message of this story? So A, talking to friends will make sad feelings go away. Is that what the character learned? Talking to her friend makes sad feelings go away. B, being calm and understanding is a good way to live. C, working hard will help other people to understand one's skills. D, believing in oneself will help a person get over the flu much faster. So when I'm reading these choices, I'm going to think if any of them kind of sound like nonsense choices, meaning they don't really make sense or they didn't really connect with the story. So one that stands out to me, and maybe you'll agree, D, believing in oneself will help a person get over the flu much faster. Do you think that's what our main character Nisha learned? That if she believed in herself, she'd start to feel better sooner? She'd get better from the flu? No, I don't think so either. So that's not going to be our theme or lesson or central message of the story. So let's see if any others stand out as not really working with the story. Working hard will help other people to understand one's skills. So for this one, I'm thinking if you work hard, other people will notice your skills. So is that what the main lesson that Nisha learned in this story was? If she works hard, other people will notice how talented she is. They'll start to notice her skills. Again, to me, this one does not seem to connect to the main lesson of the story. For the lesson, I'm thinking about how Nisha couldn't participate in the play, but she learned it was okay, that it would be all right, that there would be other ones that she could do in the future, other plays she could do in the future. So I'm thinking about which one of these helps to explain that she learned it's okay when you don't get to do everything you want to do, because there are going to be future opportunities that might come her way. Let's look at A. Talking to friends will make sad feelings go away. So when she talked to her friend in the story, I think her friend was, let's see here, her friend's name was, Allie was the other girl in the play, Katie was her friend. So what I'm wondering is, did Katie teach her that talking to friends make all of her sad feelings go away? So I'm remembering in the story that talking to Katie didn't make her feel better right away. She was still sad that she couldn't be in the play, and it wasn't really the main lesson of the story. Talking to friends makes sad feelings go away. I don't think that's what the author was really trying to teach us in the story. So that leaves us with B. Let's take a look at B. Being calm and understanding is a good way to live. Let's see if we can connect that to the story. Nisha realized that there would be other opportunities for her to be in other plays. So she learned that, it's more important to be calm and understanding that, hey, this play, I might not get to be in this one, but I'm going to get to be in other ones, is a good way to live. Is that a good mindset to say, hey, it's okay, I'm going to stay calm, and I'm going to know that, other opportunities will come my way, so I can stay calm and I can understand, and that'll help me be happier, and it'll be a good way to live. To me, that one connects with what we read in the story. She learned that it's better to just be calm and recognize, hey, I'll have other opportunities. And that is a good way to live rather than being really angry about everything. If you remember in the story, she said, her anger began to melt away. It did hurt to miss the performance, but Katie made her see that she had been very upset since yesterday. So being upset didn't make anything better. Instead, being calm and realizing that there's plenty of time to perform in the future, that's what made her feel better. So I think for the theme of this story, we can agree B, being calm and understanding is a good way to live. Number 2, which detail from the selection supports the central message? So this is asking for a detail or a quote. You can see all of these came out of the story. I can tell because they have quotation marks. These are direct quotes or parts of the story. So which detail from the story supports or explains the central message? So which one of these helps to explain that being calm and understanding is a good way to live? It's better to be calm and understanding than angry. Let's see. A, Allie did a good job. B, Katie was quiet for a minute or two. C, that Katie made her see that she had been very upset since yesterday. D, when she hung up the phone, Nisha looked at her comfortable bed. So what stands out to me is we said being calm and understanding is the best way to be. It's a good way to live. So when I'm looking at my choices, I'm going to think about, okay, which one helps to explain where she learned, the part that she learned that being calm and understanding is the best way to be. Allie did a good job, didn't really help her calm down. Remember, at first she was still angry because she still said that I could have done better, or I'm sure she did fine, but I would have been the better part. Katie was quiet for a minute or two. Does that help to explain how she knows being calm and understanding is a good way to live? That one doesn't really connect for me. C, that Katie made her see she had been very upset since yesterday. So this one sounds good to me because I'm thinking she realized she had been very angry since yesterday, and now she knows that, hey, being calm and understanding is the better way to be. So because she realized she was very angry all day yesterday, she's realizing that it's better to be calm and understanding. So that one sounds pretty good to me. Let's check D. When she hung up the phone, Nisha looked at her comfortable bed. Does that help to explain that being calm and understanding is a good way to live? No, not so much. So being calm and understanding is a good way to live because she realized that she had let anger take over. She realized that she'd been very upset since yesterday, and being angry wasn't a good way to be. Remember in the story, we'll flip back one more time. She said her anger began to melt away. It did hurt to miss the performance, but Katie made her see that she had been very upset since yesterday. And so she wanted to change from being very angry to being calm. She said, thanks for telling me. I'm sorry Allie's family is having to move. Will you say thank you? And she realized that, hey, it's okay. I can stay calm. I'd rather be calm and recognize I will have future opportunities to be in place later on. So that's going to be our best answer for number 2. We'll do one more together, and then you'll finish up on your own. Number 3, which statement, so which of these details or which of these sentences from the selection, remember selection means story, so which sentence or statement from the story supports that Nisha was upset about missing the performance? So we want to know which one of these explains or shows us that Nisha was upset about missing the performance. A, she wouldn't miss the show for anything in the world. B, the day of the show, Nisha woke up excited. C, Nisha cried all the way home and then cried herself to sleep. D, thanks, but I'm sure everything was just fine without me. So which one shows that Nisha was upset? This one stands out to me. Of all of these choices, which one shows us that Nisha's upset, that she's sad, that she's angry? Her saying she wouldn't miss it for anything in the world? The day of the show, Nisha woke up excited? Those are both excitement and happiness, feelings of happiness that Nisha's having. Nisha cried all the way home and then cried herself to sleep. Is that an example of how Nisha was upset about missing the performance? Yep, that sounds good to me. Let's check D one last time. Thanks, but I'm sure everything was just fine without me. That doesn't sound very angry. So if I'm looking for one of these details to show us how Nisha was upset, the best one is C. Nisha cried all the way home and then cried herself to sleep. All right, so you guys have 2 questions to do on your own on Nearpod, and we'll just read those questions quickly together. Number 4 says, which statement from the selection explains one lesson that Nisha learned about acting? So which of these connects to the lesson that she learned, explains the lesson that she learned? Remember, that was the central message that we identified. And then number 5, what did Nisha learn by the end of the selection, by the end of the story? So keep in mind, all of these questions are talking about the lesson that Nisha learned. And one lesson we already talked about is she realized it's better to be calm and it's better to put your anger aside, not to hold on to anger. And so be thinking about that as you answer the remaining questions. And when you are done, you can turn in your Nearpod.